live, and then I'll start off to introduce you. That's cool.
We are live.
Perfect, Melody. It's nice to be live. It's nice to see you once again. It's been quite too long waiting for this to happen. And those who are watching us live, I can see Melody. Things are happening great. We are live on YouTube already. If you want to watch us on YouTube, you can search for Melody Chadamoyo. She's live on her account on YouTube. You can watch what we're doing here. And I just want to confirm, Melody, if you're live also on Facebook before things get worse here, because I'll be killed for not bringing it to
Not
my
making
Facebook
sure everything
community.
live. Yes,
Yes.
yes.
So let me just give me a second to confirm that. Um, Boom. Perfect.
Mm.
Great. So we are perfectly 100% live both on Facebook and YouTube. If you want to watch us, we are on Dreamers Club Bahrain or Dreamers Club BH. A lot of people ask me what's the meaning of BH. This is Bahrain. So if you want to watch us on Facebook, you can slide into your Facebook timeline and search for Dreamers Club Bahrain or Dreamers Club BH, and you'll get us live. And on YouTube as well, we are live. Melody Chadamoyo's account is live, airing this to you and for your record as well, because sometimes, people are busy, so they can't catch live conversation. Recorded version of these videos are always available for you to watch and to entertain yourself, to educate, motivate, and inspire. So, Melody, it's been a quite big and long holiday. What have you been up to, Melody, before we get into our topic today?
I've been reading a lot of books and getting involved in some other things that I didn't even think I would get involved in. And educating myself about race relations, which again I didn't think I would need to do, but I decided to go and find out how how to know more about all this stuff that I had put aside. And it's been a very educational time for me, and it's always an educational time for me. And actually, the other thing is I've been talking to John out of the interview, you know, where we're just getting to come up with ideas, because we like to talk about stuff that help us to come up with ideas. And so
Mhm.
I've been talking to John and getting to know him and outside the broadcasting, and yeah, just learning, which is really exciting.
It's been exciting, Melody, having those chit chats away from the broadcasting, all that we are doing here together. And I'm happy that, I'm alive, we are healthy, you're healthy with this uncertainties that are around the world right now. A lot of things are happening. And when you see your friends in good health, you have to appreciate and you have to thank God for that. Just yesterday, I was having a discussion with a colleague, and I was telling him that, what's happening today in this world is like we forget God so fast. And when some crazy things happen in our lives, like you hit your leg on a stool or a chair, the first person you think about is Satan, not God. And as we are told that God is a jealous God, if you will call Satan before his name, oh my, you're going to get it rough. So we've got to learn to appreciate God in every situation, whether it's good or bad. So, Melody, allow me to share these posts as well on other platforms.
Okay.
Um, and you can do that as well if you have the chance to, so that at least those who are watching us and those who are not already connected to Dreamers Club Bahrain can watch it. Let me just share it. John Gora, it's on my timeline. And also, there are some other groups who also would wish to have it, and it's right there. Sending it to so many groups, Melody, so we can get people going. And there's a lot of things to talk about tonight, Melody. I hope that we're going to get people scratching their heads and, just telling people the truth about self-love, Melody. So let me take you straight to what we are discussing tonight. And I would like to ask you, Melody, before that, I don't always introduce you. You've got to introduce yourself. And my name is John Gora. These people know me. I'm everywhere. I'm on TikTok, I'm on YouTube, and on LinkedIn, I'm on Facebook, I'm on Instagram, I'm everywhere. So if you want to see me, just search my name, you'll get me. But who am I speaking to tonight, Melody?
Hi, John. My name is Melody Chadamoyo. I originally was brought into this space, into this world in Zimbabwe, and then I migrated to Ireland. And so I, one of those big, strange human beings like you, John, who have dual citizenship, who love, we've got expanded heart space that is loving towards humans and life. And I'm a true Zimbabwean and I'm a true Irish, I hope. I hope I'm still learning to be Irish. And yeah, and I am a relationship coach. That is my passion. That is to, when I say relationship coach, I'm actually talking about learning how to love with your whole heart, for have joy, have fun, have excitement in your relationship, not just to struggle all the time, because struggle is unnecessary. You mentioned God. God didn't put us on this earth so that we struggle. We are meant to be doing this dance of spiritual connection and enjoying, and body connection and enjoying the experience. And we get so focused on bodies and struggle and fear, we forget about the joy. And I am passionate about bringing the joy back, especially because when we meet men or when we meet women, we think our job is to be at war with each other instead of being partners. And I want us to just have that idea that it's possible to create a partnership, and a partnership that is makes you, both of you, powerful, both of you loving, both of you happy at the same time. Yeah. Hi, Nelta.
Well,
How are you? And Nelta is saying hi, Melody. Hi,
no,
John. Hi, Nelta.
yeah, I got her. I got her. And maybe sometimes, Melody, you'll be helping me to just key in those comments to tap them so we can read them on the screens. And Nelta, thanks for joining. You've always been part of this. Thanks also. I have to mention that at the same time when we do the chit chats with Melody, I do also with Nelta at some time. Yeah, that's what you've got to do for me, Melody. Thank you. So Nelta is saying hi, John Gora and Melody Chadamoyo. Today, Melody is doing a very big job because I'm hosting her and she's also helping me. She's one of the engineers trying to bring things up. So we are having two people watching us on YouTube, and we are having around 4 people on Facebook, Melody. So I want to bring our topic tonight, Melody. We talk about self-love so many times, and we talk about being selfish so many times, and we talk about love so many times. So we have 3 things to talk about here. We have selfishness, we have love, and we have self-love. But these words are just being used around across the world or in our daily lives, conversation. But without understanding what really they mean, we might misuse them, or we might go beyond or under what is supposed to be there. So, in simple terms, Melody, what do you personally, leave alone the dictionaries, leave alone the Google, leave alone what people are saying, what do you personally define self-love?
Ooh. Self-love to me is loving yourself. It is the way you embrace and love yourself in this world. It is the way that that you connect with yourself. It is also when I'm saying self, I think most of the time when we say self, we forget something important. I want to qualify the self. I wrote a whole book about self-love and stuff. So bear with me for a little bit. I went back to it and I saw that I wrote like a whole portion of the book talking about self-love, and then I discovered there were so many things there that I even forgot about. But
Mm-hmm.
the point I'm trying to make is today, Nelta and I had a very interesting conversation earlier, and the conversation had to do with, we come here on this earth like
Mm-hmm.
as spirits that get into a body, right? And that spirit, when it gets into a body, it's the spirit that wants to have the human experience. Spirit is happy doing its spirit thing in the spirit world, and then we come on into a body, and then we get down here and we start experiencing life. The body wants to keep you safe. Your mind is saying, don't do this, don't do that. And your parents want to keep you safe. So they try to control who you are and what you do every time.
Mm-hmm.
So much
Mm-hmm.
that we start believing we are under attack, we are in harm, we are not who we are meant to be, and we forget the spirit. Yes, we talk about God and we talk about being saved and we talk about hell and but we don't really understand that the spirit and the body are partners. And loving yourself is loving the body and the spirit. And those two things have to coexist and do the dance of life. Because if you just do this, the body, you are not doing yourself justice. If you just do the spirit, you're also not doing justice. You have to get the two to do the dance together. So when you love self, you are saying, I love my whole self, body and soul at once. That's how I define self-love.
Wow. I love the way you're bringing it, Melody, in terms of, incorporating the physical being and the spiritual being, and which is very important. When we started, we mentioned God. And I was talking about where we drift whenever we are seeking for help. And in my last video, I was talking about vaccine, and I was telling people that, hey guys, get this information right. You see, somebody cannot just destroy your body if you truly believe that God is the person who has the key to destruction of your body, whether it is the soul or the physical being. And therefore, when somebody introduces a thing like COVID, I call it somebody because we don't know how it was introduced. And then he tells you that this is what you can use to protect. Believe it, just take it. But then go to God and tell God that this is the situation. We are advised to accept, obey, and listen to the authority in place.
The
So,
authority that we chose, by the way.
yes, exactly.
Whether you voted or you didn't vote, you still chose that person. So and this is the democracy we live in. And sometimes when you are talking about self-love, when you're talking about the self, it is something that you need to come to a realization on your
Mhm,
own without
mhm.
anyone. Like, yes, the government is going to tell you something, yes, somebody is going to tell you something, but you need to sit down with yourself and say, I don't know what helps me to breathe in and out every day. I don't understand the mechanics of how my whole body works, but I trust that you are looking after me for my well-being. There is a reason why I am here on this earth today. And because there is a reason, that power that got me to be here will keep me here until I don't need to be here anymore.
Exactly. Exactly. I love that melody. That's quite interesting. And, physically or personally, sorry, sometimes, getting to understand the term of self love is what is bringing this. And that's why I told you the first conversation that we want to talk about, or I would like you to touch, is self love being selfish, because this is where we need to tune. We need just to, if you have a sandpaper, to try and brush this wood. We want it to be smooth, as smooth as
Mm.
we can get it. Because you see, this is what is happening around the world today. When you start to support people, when you start to give to people, when you start to be kind to people, when you start to be good and to be generous to people, people misunderstand you. And this is what happens across the world. When you start to give and to be generous, people think you have too much. Some people don't understand that you are sacrificing at times to go without, but you give because you are just generous. And then when the time comes when you say your first no, that's when people forget about the generosity you had, the sacrifices you took, and they will judge you with that one no that you did. So when you try to explain to somebody that I need to be kind to myself for the world to receive kindness that we are talking about. And being kind to myself is realizing that, yes, I am so generous, but I've gotten to the last bit of what I have. And if I'll be generous so much, they call it so much philanthropic, to give up to the last dot, then I'm dying with you and I'm not helping the world. Like, for example, if somebody was drowning, right? And the only solution I have is to give him or her my hand. And I try to give him or her my hand. And what I realize is that we are drowning together. He's
Yeah.
pulling me more than I can pull her.
Yeah.
All right? What do I do? Are we supposed to drown together or am I supposed to leave her go? This is what I
And
wanted to
find
explain,
help.
Melody. Yeah,
Okay.
get me to understand this. Is this now being selfish or self-love?
Okay. Love is the ultimate building block of the entire universe.
Mhm.
And you are not able to love anyone else if you're not able to love yourself. First thing. Second thing is you can only love anybody as much as you love yourself.
Mhm.
So when you say, I have to preserve my life, when you put boundaries in your life, so this is what I really want us to talk about boundaries. Because most of us think when we say, I love, it means I give all to this person and I get nothing in return. That's not love. That's being a sacrifice, which Jesus has already done and told us we don't need to do that again because Jesus already did that. What you need to do then as a human being who is human is you need to ensure that when you are giving, whatever you are giving, you keep replacing it with more love for yourself. It's a dance. It's like a give and a take, a give and a take. As a relationship coach, let me explain it like this. There is John and there is Melody, right? John and Melody love each other. But Melody is the one who gives to John. And John takes. Melody feels depleted and frustrated and hard done by, and John feels unsatisfied because he is not respecting Melody because he's thinking, what's wrong with her? Why is she not getting anything from me? Balance, which is something spiritual people talk about all the time, is John gives, Melody takes, Melody gives, John takes. It's give, it's take, it's
Mhm.
give, it's take. It's the same thing with self-love. So going back to example of someone who's drowning, if you find, and I'm not going to talk about drowning, I'm going to talk about something else. You have a friend, your friend drinks too much. You know that their drinking too much is affecting you and your relationship. What do you do if you love yourself? You go to the person and say, you know what, I'm concerned about the way you are drinking. You are causing yourself harm in this, and this way. I
Mhm.
love you. I'm not judging you, but it's not doing me any good for me to see you doing this
Mhm.
to yourself.
Mhm.
So if you need help, I'll be there to support you. But right now, I am not going to be in your life anymore. You love the person, but you are
Mhm.
also not going to sacrifice your well being to serve that person. Just like you're not going to let yourself drown in order for you to serve another person, because that's just insanity.
That's just insanity. I love that. You know, they say, and Nelson knows about this, that you can never give from an empty cup. You've got to fill your cup.
Exactly.
You've got to fill
Exactly.
it. At least even when you have half a cup, you can share. Somebody
Yeah.
can have a third of it, and you can have the remaining. But when you have nothing out of your cup, you can never share. And if you have only what belongs to you, listen to these people. Miracles, the real miracles that are written in the Bible
Mm.
happened those times when
Yes.
Elijah went to a woman's house, and he had only a handful of flour,
Mm.
and some uh, oil in the flour in
Oh,
the
well,
jar.
yeah, yeah.
And this woman was like, this is the only thing I have for
Mm.
tonight and
Mm.
for my kid as well. So if I give you this, I'll be waiting to die. But
Mm.
God said, go ahead, give it,
Yep.
because
Yeah.
I will fill the
Right.
jar and multiply. Those used to happen that time. Things are changing, man. Those days, whenever you had something like mobile phones and
Oh no.
we are using right now, we don't put God into temptations in the eyes of God. I hope we are still together, Melody.
Yeah, I think I
Can you hear
lost you for
me?
a second. And I want to call you on that one now.
Good. We are back.
Because I truly believe
Mm-hmm.
in miracles even today. I believe that but
Mm-hmm.
again, it's to do with how aligned with you are you with your creator, right? You
Mm-hmm.
need,
Mm-hmm.
when you are doing the work, what I call the work, you're making sure you are
Mm-hmm.
full. Your cup is full. How do you make your cup full?
Mm-hmm.
I think most of us don't know how to make your cup full. And I think I need to
Mm-hmm.
explain that. I don't want to be judgmental or anything. So please bear with me and forgive me if I upset you. But part of making your cup full is
Mm-hmm.
meditation. It's sitting down with yourself and and just be. Just be. Listen to what is going. Stop thinking. I know some people think, okay, yeah, you start worrying about, so that bill and John said this to me. No, don't do that. Just
Mm-hmm.
be. Just observe, even if it means you're observing a little dot on your wall. Do that for a few minutes, for 5 minutes, for 10 minutes, for 20 minutes, and see what happens. Ask
Mm-hmm.
questions. Ask important questions like, what am I supposed to be doing now? What should I do next? Even that question, should I give this person the last bun I have? Your body will tell you, your spirit will tell you that yes, this is the right time to do it, and no, this is not the right time to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you need, if you are not connected, because you are so much in your head most of the time, you will find yourself giving and then you get nothing, and then you say, sure, you know what, this thing doesn't work, or this God doesn't exist.
Mm-hmm.
The only way for those things to work is for you to make space and listen. Take time to spend time with trees, with flowers. They say you should go and see the beauty of flowers. Do you know that's
Mm-hmm.
how you create? That's how you find the miracles that you are talking about, John. If you
Mm-hmm.
spend time doing art, like art is the most, when you create yourself, you are literally creating. When I'm saying art, I mean weaving baskets, knitting,
Mm-hmm.
cooking,
Mm-hmm.
things that you do with your hands. What is it called? Making tools or whatever it is that men do. Those things, they are so good for you to connect with yourself. That is the self love that you're doing, actually, when you're doing that. That's when you start to get the miracles happening in your life, because
Mm-hmm.
that's how things work. Yeah.
Wow, that's a lovely melody. So I want us now to get, that was self-love melody, and I talked about self-love, selfishness, and love itself. So yes, I can read that. But if God says that to me today, I should do it too. Right? Miracles are still happening today. You know, sometimes I love to read such kind of comments, and this one is coming from Nelta. uh, I don't want to be misquoted. What I was trying to explain, in terms of filling our cups before we start to share was we should not be like we are expecting, to happen the same way it happened to Elijah.
Yeah.
Miracles happen, but it won't happen the same way it happened to Elijah. I will tell you the reason why. And this is what we are not being taught, especially. And this is why today, people, including me, we are going to church from January to January, but even one single problem is not getting solved. Did you know the reason why? The people like Elijah, trusted God. They believed in God. And every time they mentioned God, for us, I will tell you the truth. I am born again, Christian. But when something happens, the first thing that runs in my mind is a doubt. Will it really, will God really help me out of it? Is it really going to happen?
Yeah.
So that's why miracles that used to happen that time, okay, they can happen today, but who is there to receive that miracle is the question. So if we know so well that we are not strong spiritually, you are not strong to believe that it can happen, don't give it. When you are strong and you know that miracles do happen, and when I give this, I'm going to fill my cup. Because what I said, when you look at my YouTube yesterday, I said that when problem strikes, and the first person you think of is God, the second person that will come to you is the solution.
Yes.
But this
But
is what happens.
most of us believe that we believe
Mhm.
in our priests, we believe in our pastors,
It
we
is the
believe
second
in
thing I was going to say, Melody. That
yeah.
when a problem happens to me, like for example, my kid starts shaking in the house, the first thing that I think of, oh, I need to rush this kid to Pastor so and so to pray for him. Don't you think God is there with you? Don't we always think that God is just next to you and just calling his name will raise this kid?
Yeah.
Why don't we, when you grow spiritually to understand that taking your time moving with this kid, running to your pastor, is killing this kid
He's
because
wasting time.
by the time you're reaching the door, the kid is dead. And then you'll be like, why did God, you know, don't think about me? You never thought about God. You're thinking about your pastor. You're thinking about a doctor. You're thinking about somebody who can give you cash. You have a bill you have to pay, but you don't know where you can get it. And you're now trying to struggle, scrolling your phone book. Can I call Melody? Can I call John? Whom am I going to call to settle this bill? By the time you're calling, your car is being pulled away. But you see, when your car is being chained and you just look up to God, the first thing in your head you think about is God, and you tell God, God, in my pocket, in my wallet, I have nothing, but I believe that you can save me from this. This is how it happens. The people who are chaining your car will come to you and they will be like, so how do we deal with it? It's been chained. They will tell you that, all right, what we'll do, we'll give you a car, you'll drive home, but we'll give you a ticket. So pay it by tomorrow or within 1 week. God has done his miracles. So
Yes.
within that week, you can try to think about Melody, Joan, Nelta, or somebody else. But we are not doing that, Melody. And this is also self love. When you love yourself, you think about yourself and you think about God. You
Yeah.
don't think about yourself and you think about the next person who's going to bring peace into your life. Peace never comes from the second person, it's between you and God.
And God.
So, so Melon, let's get to it. I don't want to get into preaching so much. I'll turn
I
this
was
into
just
church.
about to say, are we on a different session now, mister? Anyway, go ahead. I understand. Totally understand. Yeah.
So, Melody, tell me, how am I going to incorporate love and loving self and then not being selfish? Because I don't want to love myself so much that I become selfish at the same time. Because it also happens in such a way that I have in abundance, but because I'm pretending that I'm loving self, I'm not sharing. I'm not giving it to other people. I'm not helping those who are suffering. And you see, I want people to listen and to understand this. When I talk about sharing, I'm not talking about money. I'm not talking about wealth. I'm talking about having kindness in abundance. I've understood myself. I've understood how to give kindness to me, and I've understood how to love myself. So how can I give that love out to other people? How can I show that kindness out to other people without being selfish to the
Okay.
world? Melody. Mhm.
The first thing you need to do is to know who you are. Who you are, what is important to you, and why you are doing things. So I know people who give. They give 10% of whatever, but they're
Mhm.
giving it because they expect to get something. Someone told them, if you give, you get back times 10, whatever you've given. So they're not giving out of goodness or out of love. They're giving out of expectation of getting more. That's selfish.
Mhm. Mhm.
Yeah.
Come on, baby.
Yeah.
Come on. You bringing it.
So,
That's
and
what
then
I was looking for.
there are people who give because they feel compelled to give. They
Mhm.
want to help. They are loving towards other people. And that's all they do. They give because they want to. There is no other reason except they feel good when they give. That's giving from a heart space, from a good space. So you need to understand why you are giving and when you should give as well. That means, as a person, when you know yourself, when you understand who you are, you create boundaries in your life. Boundaries differentiate the difference between a person who loves themselves and a person
Mhm.
who is full of ego.
Mhm.
Most of us take ego and we think it's love. When you say, oh yeah, I have things in my life, but I can't give them because I'm loving myself. When you have got
Mhm.
millions in your bank account, that's ego. That's not love. Okay? So that's different. And the ego has got its own space. It is its job to keep you safe. So most you find, you asked me what I was doing. I'm reading a book called The Soul of Money. You should really read it. It's an amazing book. And then part of what she talks about is that there are people who are billionaires who feel that they are poor.
Mhm.
You and I don't understand that. We're like, what? Yeah. Because it's not about the money.
Yeah.
It's not about the things. It's about the love inside, the joy inside. That's why you find when Europeans came to Africa and they discovered we didn't have any street kids, we didn't have any starving orphans, we didn't have anybody sleeping without a meal, they thought that was insanity because to
Mhm.
them that was not normal. We loved our neighbor before they started preaching to us about loving neighbor.
Mhm.
Then they told us, no, 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 you're doing it wrong. This is how you really do it. You take your children and your wife, you lock the door and nobody comes in. That's loving yourself. It's not.
You know,
It's
Melody.
being.
That's. I'll just cut you short. And sorry for interruption. Just to bring something to mention what you're talking about. You see, I used to sit with my dad most of the times,
Mm,
and he used to tell me stories. And you know, those days he used to tell me how they used to get married, and you know, their time and the time of their fathers and that their generation, uncles, relatives, you know, neighbors could marry a woman for a man or for a boy in the village, for a young man.
mm,
And
yeah.
the way they used to do it, they will see how good you are as a man. And everybody will come, will tell you that just get us the lady, okay? We will give you cows to pay the dowry. We
Yeah.
will give you land to start a life. Is it
Mm,
happening today?
no.
Who chased it away?
Yeah. So
It's a
it's
big
it's
question.
those things when you
Mhm.
start to question where did something come from? Of which I love the why things of things. I'm
Mhm.
actually thinking of starting a podcast about it because why things happen the way they are happening today is a
Mhm.
lot to do with what happened before. When
Before.
you
Mhm.
dig back to find out what happened before, that's
Mhm.
when you find the gold, the reasons why some things are happening the way they're happening. And when you
Mhm.
know why things are happening the way they're happening, you can identify what's motivating you. Like you can be motivated by love or fear all the time. There are only two things in the world: love and fear. Love and fear. When you are motivated by fear, what you own is your own and nobody else shall touch it. When you're motivated by love, you're open to what's possible. You might feel like right now I don't have enough. I don't think I have enough. But then you
Mm-hmm.
think I might not have enough, but if there's someone else out there who's worse off than me, I'm willing to sacrifice that which I think is not enough. Right? And then you start to see you always have enough. Do you
Exactly.
think like part of the whole funny thing is are you grateful for what you're getting, no matter how little it is? Do you say thank you for waking me up today alive with my body and soul attached to each other? Do you say thank you for the salary I got this month? Yes, I worked really hard, but still thank you. Because some of these things that are so small and yet they take us so far. And like the
Mm-hmm.
of gratitude is spoken about by a lot of people. I'm not even an expert in it. I am one of those people that are just fascinated by the whole the whole experience of saying thank you,
Mm-hmm.
thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you for the opportunity to talk to you, John. Thank you for the opportunity to listen to you when you speak, because you say things that raise something inside me. So, but
Mm-hmm.
if you are in a situation where what is raised in you is
Mm-hmm.
always of the dark side and not the light, because again, love and fear, darkness and light, there are some things that we focus on so much. I've discovered that there are in many situations we focus on the bad, on the he did this to me, this is bad about the world, this is whatever, and we forget that there is light, and that light always is better and will always trump darkness, no matter what. No matter what. Light is the all powerful light, which is God, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
Light.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
First, there was light. They didn't say first there was the sun. No. First, there was light. The light that is always there before the sun comes out. There's always light. Right now, there's no sun. I don't see the sun. There are only clouds, but there's light.
There's light. Yeah.
There is light. And we need to start thinking about, so are we focused on the light, which is the light part of you, or are we focused on the darkness, which is also a part of you, which, by
Mm-hmm.
the way, you are supposed to love too. When you get to understand who you are, you also understand your weaknesses. You understand the things that you don't know how to do. Like, you know how I was freaking out about this whole me hosting thing. For me,
Mm-hmm.
my weakness, and part of many of my weaknesses, is I know sometimes I can be judgmental. I call
Mm-hmm.
myself on it by saying, if I find myself being judgmental, I say, is there a reason for me to think this way about this person? And if there's no reason, why am I doing it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So it's loving myself the way I am, loving the dark and loving the light all the time. If you say there's this part of me that I will never look at no matter what, you're also rejecting a part of yourself, which means you're now in the ego space,
Mm-hmm.
which means you're not loving your whole self. And which means you are not able to love your spouse when they are weak, when they are struggling, when they have no money, when they are whatever, because you want a perfect human being in your life.
And where are those perfect human beings?
I don't know. I don't
The
know because
question
I don't
why?
know anybody who's perfect. I haven't met anyone so far who's perfect. Yeah.
You can never meet anyone who's perfect. We are all created with some. That's why we are two, you know? That's why you are here with me, because there's something that I cannot do that you can. And there's one that I can do that you can't.
Yeah.
And therefore, you are a fulfillment, or you are the one who's filling that gap that is not there. But
Yeah.
the culture that we are in right now and this generation is all about people think like when you have, like you say, that there are those who are billionaires, but they feel that they're poor. But in most cases, people view money, wealth as what completes human being, which in reality is not. the peace that is within creates that kind of a fulfillment. And the more abundance in terms of material things starts to chip into your life, the more struggles can start to come in. And that's when poverty strikes. The real poverty is lack of peace. It's lack of concentration. It's lack of sleep. It's lack of, the much more it starts to come, people start to be worried. That's why you see presidents are surrounded by a lot of securities. Why? They've got money. Why would they be surrounded with a lot of securities? Because there's lack of some kind of peace. There's lack of some kind of comfort. You find, Barack Obama complaining that, oh, being the president of America, I've lost my privacy. I've lost that peace that I used to have, even though everybody looks up to me and wants to be where I am. Sometimes when you are on this seat, you wish that when will that time come so I can leave and have my life back.
Yeah.
And
Because
that's
sometimes
mhm,
when you focus on the outer things, when we don't have it, sure, they're attractive. They look like they are the best thing that can ever happen to us. But when you have them, you realize that actually there is more that I need in my life. There is more. Like Neota and I, we had a very amazing conversation today, and it just came out of the blue. And part of what we were saying is when we look at being spiritual, right?
mhm,
She has her own spiritual practice. I have my own spiritual practice. We do our own thing. I meditate and she meditates alone, separately. There are times when I might discover something that works for me. We come together and then we realize actually she says, yeah, I tried it, but it doesn't quite work for me. And vice versa, right? Yet we tend to we are both having spiritual experiences that are very different from each other because we're two different people. And what fills my soul, what fills my cup, is not the same as the next person that fills the cup. The problem we have done in the world is we think we need to all be the same for things to be okay. So if John has got a Mercedes Benz and whatever, I need to have what John has in order for me to
mhm,
feel. Then we get those things and we find that I don't feel happy, so I keep wanting to get more and more and more. When you love yourself, when you are working on yourself, you
mhm,
will discover that what John has is what John has. You having it or not having it does not affect that. Does not affect how you feel about yourself. Does not affect how you feel about yourself in the world. How you present yourself, how you
mhm,
act, what you do does
mhm.
not affect that. And that's why we need to work on self. We need to continuously think, who am I? What's important to me? What do I need to do?
That was a brilliant conversation, Melody. I just love how it came and how short it was and how sweet it looks and everything in it. We are crowning this by saying that understanding self, knowing you much better than other people know you is self love. Having the abundance and sharing it with other people is self love. And a lot of things that we have talked about here, talking about the ego, the spiritual body, the physical body, understanding when to say no, when to give a helping hand, when to release, even when you have held another hand. It's just is amazing because it's been a lot of rest that we have had, Melody, and we are starting this new chapter together again, discussing about relationship and love, and just like it was previously, it's going to be amazing. If this is your first time that you are joining this conversation, you need to just follow this page, follow the YouTube channel, and now we are going to share it on the YouTube channel, Melody Chadamoyo. You've got to go there, subscribe, share, like, comment there, and let us know what you want us also to talk about next. Because when we form these conversations, we always look at where we have missed. We always look at where we lack. We always look at what do we think they want to hear. But what if you are posting it and telling us that, hey, guys, I heard you talking about this thing. Why don't you tackle this week? And it will be so much easier for us to discuss and talk about it with Melody here. She's my coach. She's brilliant. She's so much advanced in these conversations, such kind of conversations. And you don't want to miss it, and you don't want to, shy away with your problem. And again, if you don't want to make it public to us here, you can always slide into our DMs and ask Melody. Melody, I need a private conversation with you to help me to deal with this issue. She will always tackle it. For me, I'm still in the stages. I'm still not going to coach you. I'm still in the stages, taking studies and taking the lessons. Once I've been satisfied, I'll be telling you also to slide on my inbox so we can talk about it. But at the moment, Melody is there to help you with your love issues. Melody is there to help you to reclaim back that authority to love again. We've got a lot of people, Melody, who've been broken-hearted, those trying to, get hope back to start life again in the conversation of love and relationship. We've got those people who still feel like, there's a breath, there's a kind of, my heart is still beating, the blood is still shaking in my heart. But when I try to make a move, I still fear. There's some fear in me, and I can't. That's the kind of a person Melody wants to meet. And to
Yes.
tell you that you still have a room, you still have a space, your heart is still big. You can spit it out and drink fresh water and start a life. If you are such kind of a person and you're watching tonight, Melody will not leave your hand. It's a time for you to take that breath and look at www.heartpassioninstitute.com and answer the questions that you will find. This will drive you to understand whether Melody is perfect match for you or you want something much bigger than that. For tonight, Melody, I'll go straight to your parting shot to end this conversation here. Because if we go much, we are told too much of something is poisonous.
Yeah, you're so right. So my parting
Mm-hmm.
shot today is, um, you know, love is a gift that we get from God. When God breathes His Spirit into us, He's truly loving us. And I'm saying a He in a very loose because God does not have, you know, male
Mm-hmm.
or female parts, whatever. But what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying is, when you connect with that love in your heart, in your spirit, in yourself, when you do, if you don't know how to do it, go and look at yourself in the mirror. Look at
Mm-hmm.
yourself. You can only do it eye by eye. You can't do it two eyes, but you can really look at yourself and see the miracle that you are, and
Mm-hmm.
love the miracle that you are, and embrace that miracle and say, I am going to do the best that I can to show up for myself, to love myself in the way that God loves me, in that indescribable, never ending, never judging, never conflicting love. And say, that's my first step. I'm going to start loving myself in that way and start moving forward with
Mm-hmm.
that intention of loving yourself. You will start to see opportunities to love yourself happening day by day. And then you're on your way to the most miraculous life you can ever imagine. Because believe me, when you love yourself, things happen you did not expect to happen. But it's all good. Bad or good, it's all good because you are in the light. Thank you.
I love that melody. Bad or good, you are in the light. It's always good. There's nothing like failure. We are learning and getting experience. So that comes and marks the end of this conversation for tonight. It's our first conversation on second edition on love and relationship with Coach Melody Chadamoyo. I hope you'll join us next weekend on Saturday, same time, 8 o'clock East African time or Standard Arabian time. And I think it's 2 hours behind
Six
Melody. It's
o'clock.
6 o'clock
Yeah,
your time,
Irish time.
Irish time. So thanks for coming, Melody, as usual, and pass my regards to everybody. And I hope that this learning conversation is going to take us much higher than we were before we started this. Thank you so much, Melody. Have a nice evening from your side.
Thank you, John. Thank you so much. And thank you, everyone. Appreciate you for coming. If you got any gold nuggets, just say hashtag nuggets in the comments so that we know what we were saying was good for you, or which part was good for you, so we can take that conversation even further. Thank you for being here. And yay,
Boom.
I did it.
Boom.
Woohoo,
Yep.
yay.